Hello and welcome back to the Krabby's Changing Room Chat. We're having a look back, I should say, to the 1999 game against Ireland. John Manson, I believe you've had a bit of a dig into the result, have you?
Well, I need to be brutally honest right for the kick-off here. I thought we were doing the France game, 99, so I sat up last night and watched the France 99 game and took lots of details there. It was a great game, by the way. It was a wonderful game of rugby. But apparently we're looking at the Ireland game today of that year. So I'm a bit light on stats, but I'm going to do my best here to try and dig in.
It's a bit like normal, that big man.
It's not a great start, Kenny boy. You better fill in here, Kenny.
Well, do you know what? Interestingly, of all the games that season, it's the one game I can't really remember apart from a couple of little things. Because in the 90s, we never lost to Ireland. I think we had a draw once. So you never played against Ireland thinking we're going to lose. You always thought we'll beat them and who we playing next. Not so much who we're playing next, but it was always a pretty confident we'd win that game. So that whole season, it's the one game when you said to me about, I was thinking, Ireland, did we play them at home? Did we play them away? I couldn't remember much from the game.
Yeah, well, I should have said at the very beginning, we are joined by the 72 cap legend that is Kenny Logan to give us a bit of a look back and his insight into the game as well, because John's had a look at their own game.
Well, he is a prop, you've got to remember that.
Yes, a prop.
I mean, we've got to give the guy the benefit of the
doubt. What were your recollection of the team itself, Kenny, when you look through the team? We've already done a 99 game. We had Big Scott Murray on talking about the France game, funnily enough, John. But when you look at
what's that, John?
When you look at the team that was alongside you, you had Gary at 9, you had Gregor Townsend at 10, Tatey at 12. Tatey at 13, John Leslie inside him at 12, and then yourself, Cammy Murray, and Glenn Metcalf made up the back line. Memories of that team, or the characters within that group?
Well, I mean, I think the memory of that whole season, a lot changed from when Gregor came to 10 because Hodgie broke his leg against Wales. So, at the start, Tatey was on the bench and Tatey came in, and Tatey actually gave the team a lot more width to a certain degree, even though you think Gregor would give you that. But Gregor was the best year he played for Scotland at 10. So he really controlled the game. But John Leslie was a key in the midfield. A lot was played around him, and he had a storming when he started against Wales. But again, Ireland, he just controlled it with the midfield. Him and Tatey worked really well together. And the back three, luckily, Glenn Metcalf, I think as a winger, you want to play with fullback, like Hoggy or something like that, who can have a go. No disrespect to some other fullbacks who just want to kick the ball all day. But when you passed the ball to Glenn and you went round Glenn, there was something going to happen. He was either have a go or you're going to have to go back and dig him out of a hole. One of the two, but you knew you would have to do something. So I think the beauty about that back division that season was they were all pretty big names. John Leslie was a big name in New Zealand, and he'd come over here through his granddad, or great uncle, I can't remember what it was, but he'd made an impact, and his brother, to be fair. His brother scored a couple of tries in that tournament. I think he scored some. Did he score some against Ireland?
He scored a couple against France. The game that I watched last night.
Cammy Murray scored a couple. And I think and the back three really worked well all season. And but the characters, Gary Armstrong clearly, and Doddy. Doddy was in and out of the team, but Doddy was certainly a character. Night before games and stuff like that, he would, you imagine a night before a test match, you've all been there, and everybody's calm, taking it easy. Gary's going around getting everybody's rooms, mostly management, and putting cling film on the toilets, boot polish around the toilet, and then biscuits in their beds, because the management may have a couple of beers on the Friday night because they get to sleep a bit easier. And in the morning they come down, they've got boot polish on the backside. And I remember John Rudd, he had to phone up the janitor at the room service and say, look, there's something wrong with my toilet. I've tried pinning it 3 times now, but it keeps bouncing off.
Oh, no.
So Gary had been in the room, and of course in the morning, Jim's saying, "Who's been in my room?" And Gary stands up, "Who is it? I need an honesty call here, lads." And we're all looking, going, "Can't believe it." He's throwing it back at us. But he was, right. and that was part of it. I think what we had that year was, and certainly through that season, was team spirit. Everybody got on well with each other, and we didn't give each other too much stick. But when it was needed to be said, it was said. I mean, I can't remember, but it was one of the kicks against Ireland. And Ireland started goal kicking that year, so to go from your club then straight to international goal kicking at 27 or 28 years old was a bit the other way around. But I'm doing a kick I was 30, 40 yards out, and they was the ones I was comfortable with, the big long ones. And just before I'm going to kick it, Tatey comes up, and with a word of a lie says, "Make sure it goes dead because you'll probably miss it." And I looked at him, and I just thought to myself, well, I can't really say it live, but anyway, I battered it between the posts. And I remember running off going, "You ever say that to me again?" He goes, "It worked though, didn't it?"
There was another story came out. It's actually a game that John looked at, but Big Scott Murray was putting the boot into you a wee bit about a conversion, I think it was, as opposed to a penalty against France.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
I thought we were talking about the Ireland game.
Was it that? You caught yourself? Caught yourself?
Can we talk about the France game for a minute?
Yeah, I'll tell you about the France game. So I'm kicking really well all game from everywhere. And, the joke at Wasps, when I scored a try, when they scored a try, anyone near the post, they would run to the right and the left of the post because they knew I didn't like in the front of the post. But the Scotland boys didn't realise it. They kept going to the post, and I'm going, "Oh my God." So anyway, they're on the post. And I had a routine where I'd look at the ball and I would look up and find something beyond the post and imagine drawing a line or a piece of string right back to the ball. And I'd imagine the whole thing going straight through. And as I look up, they've got these massive screens in France. I mean, huge TVs. And I look up and I see myself. And I sort of look back down, going, "Don't look at yourself. Don't look at yourself." And I go back up, then I wink at myself. And then as I come back down, I'm thinking, why did I do that for? What did I do that for? And as I kick the ball, I look up, and as it comes off the crossbar, not the crossbar, the upright, and as it's coming across, I'm turning around and I look to the next screen. And what Alan was saying on the screen was clearly not footage for TV. It was all the wrong words. And then he came up to me and said, "If we lose this game by 3 points, I'm going to kill you." And I said, "Well, that's 2 points for a start." I said, "Secondly, we're 20 points up. What's the chances?" Yeah, but I did. It was funny the kick that the whole. It's so different now being a goal kicker. I remember I tried to get a goal kicking coach up, who was Gareth Rees, and they said to me, "No, you can't do that. You don't need a goal kicking coach." I went, "I do," because he says, "What do you need a goal kicking coach?" And 2 minutes later, Jim's going, "Where's the line-out coach? Where's the line-out thrown-in specialist?" I'm like, "Hang on, you've got a line-out specialist, but you're not a goal-kicking coach." But, Jim was more important about the line-out and the scrum.
You mentioned John Rudd earlier. We had John Rudd on last week. And a lot of people know him as a player, Kenny, but not many as a coach. And you mentioned the back division there, which with Snowy and Tatey and Leslie and Tooney at his best was a great backline. How much impact did Rudd have on that backline as a coach?
I tell you, Rudd was really good in the sense that, and a bit like Geach is with the Lions, he sort of really said to us, "Look, boys, how do you want to play this game? Because there's no point in me telling you what I think you should play it, because you might not enjoy it. Or what game do you want to enjoy playing?" And we all sort of said, "Look, we want to move the ball. The back three want to get the ball. We want to get it to 13 as much as possible." And that was because Gregor was at 13. And then Gregor, at the start of the campaign, that season we decided, let's get the ball a bit further out. If Gregor's playing 13, he's the best ball player, let's get him out there and let's use him. And from a back three's position point of view, it's brilliant to hear the fact that we want to get the ball out there. So everybody bought into that. And then McGregor moving to 13 and Tatey coming in, and actually Tatey was brilliant at it because Tatey held so many people around him because his rugby league background, and that season was a lot of rugby league guys like Gibbsy and Bateman, and there was a lot of guys, and all playing the centres. And Tatey definitely came out as one of the best centres that season. So Rod was good at listening to us, and anytime we sort of tried to be a bit more experimental, he sort of said, "Boys, remember, keep the simple things and keep them right, keep doing them right." And if you look at the All Blacks, you look at the best coaches, you do the simple things right, you can build on it. And I suppose sometimes we did get a bit frustrated because we got beyond ourselves a little bit because we wanted to do more. And he was the one saying, stick to what you said at the start of the season. And I think we ended up scoring 16 tries that season, only in 4 games. So that was probably, I think it was the most, I can't remember, I think it was the most Six Nations team had scored, or certainly Scotland had scored. So there was no point after 2 or 3 games, let's try and change it. But, Rod definitely was a calming insight to us. And actually, he probably helped Gregor a lot, because Gregor was maybe, sometimes he'd want to run it too much and he needed to be a bit more controlled. And you give a lot of respect to John Leslie, actually, because he really helped Gregor. Gregor played, I would say, his best rugby next to John Leslie and Tatey.
One guy that was up front, not that you would have taken too much to do with the forwards back then, but one man that was in the pack on that day, a good friend of yours, then Tom Smith. Now, Tommy's going through some challenging times at the moment, and I know you're doing an awful lot. You and a lot of the boys that are in that team, everybody rallying round with the rugby community. Have you chatted to Tom recently?
I spoke to him. I left a message last week. I spoke about a week ago. He's doing really well. I think the good thing is he's not. He's in hospital, but he's getting looked after, and he gets home, and he's contained, and nobody's seeing him, and he's as Pump will know, John will know, his attitude to everything he does is at the highest level. I remember when he first got told about the cancer, said it wasn't looking good. His first thing is, right, I'm going to smash this. How do I smash it? And he's had I think he's on about 20 rounds of chemo, which is quite unheard of at the level he's taken. He's getting full blast, and he's given it a good shot. But he was another character in that team who didn't say too much, but by Jove, he put it in. He was probably one of the best props we've seen. For a small man, the strength, and in training. And I remember once that season, I accidentally elbowed him in the face, and of course Tom thinks I meant it. I don't think I did, but anyway. So for the whole session, he's chasing me. So I just had to stop and get punched, because I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm going to get punched from sleeping, or punched, the physio just come in and hit me and go, you won't do that again. So he just got me in the deck and gave me a couple, and I went, cheers, Tom. But he didn't take any prisoners. And Bullock was another one. I'll tell you that season, who again, somebody was a British Lion, was Paul Burnell, who had been out in the wilderness pretty well. He came in tight head, and he had a storming season. And I think when you look through that team, there's a lot of players who just at the right time just performed and did their own jobs really, really well.
Well, Kenny, thanks very much for coming on. The game on Friday night, the Ireland game, is another brilliant example of how good that squad was. That squad you played a massive part in. Thank you very much for giving your insight. And John, thanks very much for doing all the research into the game as well. Fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the Ireland game on Friday night.
Thanks for the research for the France game. Finger on the pulse.
It's my pleasure.
Cheers, Kenny.
Cheers, boys.
So we're all set then. The conditions pretty good. There's a strong westerly breeze here, but there's not much of it down on the pitch. If anything, it may help Scotland in this half. Derek Bevan tells Scotland to be ready. David Humphries gets the game started, and up right away goes Scott Murray, and taken out when he was up in the air. First penalty to the Scots, and there's Scott Murray, who's had a wonderful season so far in internationals, and we'll see a lot more of him being hoisted today. Keith Wood caught the ball well, but his foot was on the line, and of course if you're in possession and your foot touches the line, that's touch. Keith Wood there is 23rd international, captain of Ireland on 9 occasions.
And in the first line of the game, Bill, this is certainly going to be a key area, but I expect the Scots to give Ireland a much bigger challenge in the Welsh Stadium. I think the real key point to focus on for this game is going to be the half-back battle, and I just think the experience of Gary Armstrong could be the key to Scotland's success here.
Some big fellas in the line out there, you can see, and there once again Murray, Armstrong, Townsend taking it flat onto Leslie. That's the Ireland 22. That was a very good ball for Ireland to win. McGuinness, Humphries, and they're running it. McQuinnigan goes. Big, powerful fella. Marvellous kick ahead by him. And there's going to be an Irish try here if they can control the ball. And it is a score. Humphries has scored. And Ireland have taken a leaf out of Scotland's book with that try in barely a minute and a half. David Humphries, the scorer. What a start for Ireland.
Yeah, wonderful start for Ireland. David Humphries doing exactly the right thing and moving that ball out of defence. And we see this replay coming up. Moves the ball to Quinnigan. This is what makes tries at international, of the pace, able to go outside Scotland, puts an intelligent kick in, and it's just a matter of backs against forwards. And David Humphries, well, we all know all about his pace from the Ulster success in the European Cup, and he wins the touchdown.
It was a wonderful bit of work by Dion O'Quinnigan. This is a big flank forward. I remember playing in Hong Kong 7 for South Africa, and that deft kick ahead was absolutely perfect. It was a tremendous run there also by Dempsey. Meanwhile, the conversion by David Humphries has gone over. Ireland leads 7-0. They've played barely 3 minutes.
Totally against the run of play, but David Humphries has to do exactly what he's done at the start of this match. He has to impose himself if Ireland are going to win this, because there's no question that Scotland are going to make the most of their possession.
Gregor Townsend restarts. Up goes Keith Wood. It went forward, referee's seen it, waiting for the advantage. He's playing advantage. Tom Smith drives on, got the ball from Armstrong. Yes, Ireland drove. Yes, Ireland's number 5, Jeremy Davidson, penalised there for going in at the wrong side and down, I think. Incidentally, David Humphries has reached his 100 points for Ireland, 105 now. That's in just 15 internationals.
Well, as things settle down a bit now, get an opportunity to maybe have a little bit of focus in terms of what way this game may well go. I think it really is going to be a half-back battle today. The Scots lineout has been working very well in the championship so far, as has the Irish lineout outside the English game. It's really going to come down to how both half-backs, both respective half-backs, make use of this possession.
Kenny Logan then, who scored 71 points for Scotland so far, including 8 tries. Logan, high and wide and not handsome, just fractionally wide. It stays at 7-0. They've played 4 minutes. Much brighter overhead now, I'm pleased to say. And a really fast pitch out there. And there's David Humphries. What a start he's had. Lovely drop ball again. Murray took it so beautifully once more. Armstrong. Just outside Ireland's 22. But a good breakaway there by Ward. Almost up to the Ireland 10 metres line. Ball knocked forward. And the first knock-on was Ireland. Scotland get the boot in. There's Eric Miller coming back into his number 8 position.
and a noticeable edge to Ireland's play in the loose set. Now starting to create the odd turnover, which they failed to do in the English game. O'Quinnigan and Ward working to good effect there. Wood coming in, and Ward gets away, and he just loses it in the tackle. Gary Armstrong closes him down. I think he slaps the ball away.
So that was Scotland's young lock forward, pairing Scott Murray and Stuart Grimes, 23 and 24 years respectively. There at the back weights, you'll see Scotland fractionally heavier. Pick up by Peters, Armstrong, taken on by the fullback Metcalf. 10 metres outside, Ireland's 22. Drive on a bit further by Eric Peters. This is a penalty, a deliberate knockdown. Gregor Townsend, he's found a very good touch, and it's Scotland's throw.
And obviously Scotland very confident online. Now you see Eric Peters making the pickup. And yes, he didn't really go for the man there, David Humphries.
Well, now you notice the Scots have left a gap in the middle of the line out. They want some manoeuvring space. Gordon Bullock's throw, plucked out of the air again by Murray. There's the drive. Bullock trying to switch it. Armstrong held. That was a good green-shirted drive there. Cameron Murray has gone in a scrum half. It's Murray there who saved it for the Scots. Patrick Jones did a good bit of driving there. Now along the line there to Townsend. Breakthrough almost by Alan Tate. This is real harem-scarum stuff, there's no doubt, but it's Armstrong once again. Townsend out. Leslie, a great chance there for Murray. Murray is in. Cameron Murray, the scorer, as he did against Italy a fortnight ago. His second camp international try. It's 7-5 for Ireland. They've played 7.5 minutes. What a start.
That's a typical whirlwind start to Scotland-Ireland games. Very open, very constructive. Scotland putting together some very good movements. Gary Armstrong again looking to the blind side of Gregor Townsend, who just a little pop ball to Leslie, who floats, takes out two men with that floated pass to Murray and just beats the Irish defender to the touchline. He's a bit pleased with that, isn't he?
It was a wonderful dip of the left shoulder by Murray as he went in. Leslie judged the pass beautifully. He floated it, and look how low he got. That was a great scoring dive. Kenny Logan, an awkward sight for him, and he's pulled it wide. But what a cracking start. Two cracking tries already in just 8 minutes gone. 7-5 to Ireland. The crowd roaring here.
I'll have to say a slightly uncharacteristic error on Ireland's behalf. The defence initially to that, particularly up front, have been good, and maybe Gervin Dempsey just giving his opposite number Murray a bit too much room there in space.
Humphries again, a change this time, high and far. Gregor Townsend caught. Referee decided wanted to show that he'd seen the knock-on.
Well, that was all because of Dale O'Quinnigan's tackle. What you see this coming up, he forced Gary Armstrong to make the hurried pass, and it wasn't particularly good.
The Irish tight five, of course, have covered themselves in some glory this season, particularly that front row. Closey, Wood and Wallace, very experienced. 76 caps between them in that Irish front row. McGuinness left it for his number 8, but he's in trouble. It was so awkward. Scotland may have won a good ball. Armstrong has found space. Back goes O'Shea. O'Shea, who was inside his 22. Still in play. Gordon Bullock. Ireland 10 metres line. Another lovely ball from Armstrong. Peters has a go. Irish is always playing at a frantic pace here. Now it's Townsend. Leslie. Oh, Leslie has almost got clear. He's got Tate with him. to the left. Ireland's 22. Loud blast for holding on. Penalty to Ireland.
Well, very significant, that previous scrum, which Ireland had all that trouble with. Jim Telfer's obviously gone to home on this Irish scrum and has seen how England done so well. John Leslie just getting clear there. He's had to check back, he's run out of his own support. Conor O'Shea just gone out of picture and he's eventually brought to ground and lays the ball back. But another wonderful movement from Scotland.
Eric Miller, the injured player. And of course, a lovely bit of work by John Leslie, who's been one of the stars of the Scottish team this season, who seems to be able to find space where none exists.
There's something that maybe in the past Scotland have been lacking, but it looks like they could be forming a very, very powerful partnership with Alan Tate, who would have the more direct approach. But just looking at Eric Miller on the ground, that's something that will worry Warren Gatland. I think it's a very significant selection in picking Miller ahead of Costello. The approach against England was a very direct, confrontational approach, and I think Ireland want to move things a little bit wider today.
Denise Flanagan tending to the Irish players there. Father Joe played a scrum half for St Mary's, and brother and sister, you can see there. Watch Leslie, see how he pirouettes. Then it's amazing for a big fellow of 6'2", 6'3", and he almost made it. Tate, I think, might have got there, but well, John Leslie at his best, except for the last bit, maybe. So this will be a blow for Ireland, who've brought in Eric Miller, I think, because maybe because he's a bit quicker off his mark as a number 8 picker.
I think against England, Bill, yes, absolutely right. They want to get the ball away from the base of the scrum, and you can see that Scotland are very intent on getting that half wheel against the grain to try and prevent Miller from breaking off the base of that scrum, and they did it very effectively so far.
Mind they've got a big fellow, Victor Costello, who's on the replacement bench. That was McGuinness. Yes, that was Jonathan Bell coming in, chunky little fellow. Wood couldn't hold it. Armstrong does have it. Armstrong over halfway. Out there again to John Leslie. It was knocked forward, no advantage to Scotland. They'll get the put in.
Yes, all a bit rushed from Ireland there, trying to flick away the pass to Keith Wood when maybe it wasn't on, and to go to Ryan would have been the better option. Ireland trying to play the game at the pace that the Scots have set, and maybe just need to steady things down a little bit.
There's Keith Wood. There's a bit of the yoicks and tally-ho about him when he gets the ball in his hands and a bit of space to run in. Really inspirational figure in the Irish side, Keith Wood, just as his dad was before him. So we're just waiting for the scrimmage now. Paul Wallace on the far side from Keith Wood, and of course on this side Peter Closey, big tough lad from young Munster. Yeah, the Scots held it all right. Armstrong, lovely pass out there to the fullback Metcalf. Very good tackle there by Andrew Ward. Ireland's 10 metres line. Armstrong once again. Townsend with the pass there to Gordon Bullock. It was the hooker who drove. Now it's Armstrong once again. Townsend has a go. Tackle by Wood. Ball knocked forward. Referee waiting for advantage. And if Ireland win this ball, he'll let them play, but in fact they haven't. And so a good decision there by Derek Bevan. You can see the referee's feel for the game, can't you, Philip?
Well, I hope that Derek Bevan's in the peak fitness at the moment, because the pace of this game, it's typically Irish-Scottish, isn't it, Bill? It's always 90 miles an hour.
There we are, the Irish 10 metres line. Ireland have been swiveled. Attempted drive there by Ward. McGuinness. Oh, that's a really good kick that by David Humphreys. He saw the space and he laid it perfectly. This lad certainly is capable of orchestrating the whole Irish effort.
And he's given time and space, but he's certainly going to do that. But again, Scotland managing to disrupt that Irish scum. And Ireland, for their point of view, are going to have to be able to put that right if they're going to be able to create anything from set-piece phases.
So Gordon Bullock will be desperately keen to get the throw spot on here. Grimes at number 2, but it's gone to the back again. Murray went for it. Tom Smith drives. Armstrong. It's an awkward ball. O'Shea was there to help as Dempsey gathered in. McGuinness. Humphreys. He did well. It was cluttered environs there, and you laid it off pretty well as well. There's Wood going. Jonathan Bell went in to help. Humphreys once more. A testing, teasing little kick there. Cameron Murray was back. But that Humphreys boot is torturing Scotland at the moment.
Yes, he's more the form of the Ulster European Cup success now. He's been giving a little bit of time and space. Takes a lovely step inside there. Look at the confidence on the ball, and he is so quick. Dipping in and out, running into his support. Eventually flips a pass back into Paddy Jones, who's able to set up the ruck. And from there, Humphreys puts in his kick to gain more valuable yards for Ireland.
And Philip David Humphreys must have got a tremendous boost to his confidence as captain of Ulster, winning the European Cup.
Absolutely, man. In many respects, then starting the Five Nations Championship, it's taken him a while to get to translate that confidence into Five Nations form, but he certainly seems to be on it today. And I detect a little edge about Ireland's play today as we see Eric Miller going off.
And there, the big man Victor Costello is the replacement, and it's his 20th international match. He'll be on at number 8, and I have to tell you, he weighs 18 stone 3, so it won't harm Ireland's scrimmage at all. Oh, that's a bit messy. Armstrong, however, little chip. And there came Dempsey. Very good follow-up tackle by Cameron Murray for the Scots. Scotland's 10 metres line. Humphreys once again. There's the first. Big Gary Owen, but it's maybe a bit too far forward. And a lovely take there by Metcalf, and he's gone. Metcalf away. If the pass had gone to Townsend, he might have been clear. But Ireland hadn't retreated the 10 metres. But that's what the Scottish crowd have been hoping to see. Glenn Metcalf showing the kind of counter-attack form that he displayed for Glasgow Hawks when they won the Division 2 Championship and the Scottish Cup last season.
Yes, it was a wonderful counter-attack from Metcalf, but again, it was Gary Armstrong's little chip that led up to it, and that's where he is so strong. From the base of rucks and mauls and set pieces, weighting those kicks perfectly. It's an area that Ireland, in particular, with maybe Conor McGuinness, have been a little bit weak today. And I expect to see more and more of Gary Armstrong's kicks coming into the game as this game progresses.
Woods throw, lovely take by Davidson. Humphreys there, bumping into his man, thinking of the scissors. This could be a useful ball for the Scots if they can win it, and indeed they look as if they have. Nicely out there from Tom Smith. And well, John Leslie's better with the ball in his hands, with the ball in his foot.
And I think there might have been a suspicion of a 3-2 overlap there, Bill, as well. It would have been much better, I think, to move that quick and start and get back into Ireland's half with their hand, as you say.
Keith Wood there in his 23rd international. He's had scored 4 tries for Ireland. Won this season, of course, against Wales. And he once scored 2 tries against the All Blacks. Not many fellas have done that. There, Scotland slightly ahead in line-out takes. Good fingers to it. Tom Smith again sweeping the line out very well. Armstrong. Yes, it was Armstrong feeding out, and then Bullock taking it on further. Now, a good chance there as it comes out to Murray once again. Murray checks inside, just inside Irish territory. Leslie fed it out once more. This is Townsend. Back inside to Metcalf. Great work here as Peters goes further. Peters tackled by Humphreys. Irish 10 metres line. Surging Scottish forward play here. Tom Smith drives on. Armstrong. Townsend. Looking for somebody to come closer to him there. Armstrong once again taken by Murray. Back inside to Walton. Walton, 18 stones on the hoof. Grimes has a go. Both of Scotland's young lock forwards involved there. Going in from the wrong side, said the referee. It's a penalty to Scotland and it's kickable. But that was a very good passage of Scottish play. Paul Wallace there may have been the player penalised.
That was wonderful continuity from Scotland. Armstrong whips the ball away. Grimes goes in, lays the ball back, and it's taken on again by Bullock. Keith Wood is opposite Munner, trying to pull him back, and Ireland get a little bit more momentum there, trying to stop that Scots rush, but it give away the penalty in the process.
Now, Kenny Logan was out practicing his goal kicking just half an hour or so before kick-off. There we are, 13 goals, not bad. But has he got it this time? Oh, the crowd could tell you. They roared before it went over. Kenny Logan hoists his tally to 74 points for Scotland and puts them ahead 8 points to 7 with 21 minutes played.
I'd have to say, Bill, that Scotland are well worth their lead at this stage. We haven't seen an awful lot constructed from Ireland yet by their breakaway try, and Scotland's continuity and their general commitment to attack has probably made them well worth their lead, if not a little bit more.
Humphreys again high, in comes Peters. The tackle was fair by O'Quinnigan. Townsend. Well, it's a Gary Owen, but actually in the wrong place. Ball seemed to be knocked forward. Wood did wonderfully well to get back there. Jonathan Bell comes. He's tackled by Cameron Murray, but knocked forward. They'll scrum it on Scotland's 10 metres line.
But again, a wonderful Gary Owen by Gary Armstrong. He really does nail those. We were watching him on the pitch just before the game, practicing them. I have to say, each one of them were inch perfect.
Variety is the spice of life in punting, isn't it?
Well, certainly Gary Armstrong over the years has really developed that side of his game so well, and Scotland have made the most of it over the years, I must say.
Derek Bevan has spotted round to the other side because the scrummage collapsed there. Great battle going on over there, of course, between Tom Smith and Paul Wallace, of course, great pals in the Lions tour of South Africa. They were the two Lions props in all three tests. Lovely bit of work by McGuinness. Humphreys caught again by Murray. That's twice. Cameron Murray has done splendid tackling what they're coming in to take the stand-up half. It's a point that John Rutherford made about Cameron Murray's performances. He does an awful lot of good stuff that isn't seen, and he certainly did there.
And this Scottish pack are doing an awful lot of good stuff, which is being seen from the set piece. Was a wonderful flip. They're forcing Ireland to attack that left-hand side because they're whipping the Irish scrum around, and it is a problem for Ireland.
That's Scotland's 22. Armstrong once again. Oh, that one sat up and bounced awkwardly for O'Shea. O'Shea caught once again by Murray and turned. Holding on, penalty to the Scots. You can understand O'Shea wanting to hold that ball just fractionally.
Yes, with no support around him, the temptation is give away the ball and give away a score. It's a wickedly bouncing ball. O'Shea wants to make certain before he commits himself to it. And the Scottish attack, and defence, if you like, attacking defence is up there before any Irish shirts are around, and wins the penalty.
Gregor Townsend puts it into touch at the corner. What a kick. And certainly Cameron Murray's tackle there of Conor O'Shea almost forced the Irish fullback to hang on. The ball was on the wrong side.
Absolutely. The Scots here have laid a very good platform from their set pieces. The line-out's been working very well. They've disrupted the Irish scrum, and they've also disrupted some of the Irish line-outs. And Ireland are really struggling. Scotland very much in the driving seat.
That's Scott Murray. Eric Peters ready to hoist him. Oh, it was a lovely take there by the other Leslie, Martin Leslie. Scotland peeling and rolling. Good effort really by the Irish forward nonetheless. However, it's Armstrong. No way through. Leslie, Townsend. Has he made it? The score is there. Derek Bevan was right on the spot. And Gregor Townsend scores his 9th try for Scotland. What a thriller we have here. 13-7 Scotland leading. 25 minutes of the first half played. What a score for Townsend.
And fully deserved, and Scotland really, as I said before, laying a great foundation. Gary Armstrong taking out more men. Leslie sensibly switches it blind, and there's that lovely floated pass. Townsend just has to get outside Wood, and he's in the corner.
There wasn't an awful lot of room when the ball came out. The Irish forwards seemed to have sorted it out. However, Gary Armstrong just getting under closely. That was the switch by Leslie. Now watch how Townsend, with sheer pace and good handling of the ball, got the try. Meanwhile, Ken Logan. That doesn't look too bad. It certainly is not too bad.
Well, I was saying at the start of the match, Bill, that Gary Armstrong was going to have a big role to play in this game, and he certainly has so far. That was a wonderful flip back inside to make that try.
15 points to 7 Scotland lead, and Scotland have been given a penalty because of foul play when the ball was dead. And when that happens, it has to be brought into play, the penalty, at the place where it would have been brought into play. And so they've got a penalty on halfway, and they're going to have a kick at goal. This will be worth seeing. Well, Kenny Logan has a look at the, throws a bit of grass up to find out which way the breeze is blowing. It's still a westerly. It's not an awful lot of help to Scotland this half, but Kenny Logan, who of course has been kicking superbly well for his club this season, Wasps, down there. Now then, they'll lift the roof of the north stand on our left here, because they'll get a wonderful view of this one. So will the south stand. Logan from halfway, he's given it a tremendous lick. Oh, it's just outside the post. He hit the distance, not quite the accuracy. 15-7 Scotland lead, 27 minutes played. Humphreys. Oh, tricky. Beautifully done. That was a lovely bit of innovative rugby football there. Out there to the right wing, Justin Bishop, and he's quick. The two London Irish fellas. There's Keith Wood coming. McGuinness was the lad. Taking a man out. I think the referee said penalty to Scotland, yeah. So obstruction off the ball there.
Obstruction off the ball maybe, but it's exactly the right thing for Humphreys to do. He's got to breathe a bit of life into this Irish performance nose, and look at the pace. Tries to get the floated pass out to Justin Bishop, who cuts back inside. Difficult to tell from this angle exactly what the penalty was for, whether it's for going over or...
Well, wouldn't you like to see inventiveness like that in modern rugby football? David Humphreys with a little chip drop out. Super. Brought the crowd to its feet. Scotland, however, have used the penalty to go up to Ireland's 10 metres line. And Bullock held back the ball beautifully, taken there by Murray, and was put on by Walton. Armstrong, Townsend, great run by Logan. Logan appearing away, can he make it? Logan still going. Wonderful effort there by Kenny Logan, coming in off the left wing and just, well, he opened up the Irish defence.
Well, I hope we can see this. Yes, Logan just getting the angle on Jonathan Bell. Nothing he could do about it. Not an issue of pace, but a perfect angle from Kenny Logan, but just can't hold his feet. Wonderful movement again from Scotland, though.
Really, there was a cracking try by Girvan Dempsey as well, who'd got back there to sink Logan, but what a thrill that was. Once again, Murray towering over the line out. Tom Smith, Armstrong going blind. The other Leslie Martin. And once again, Martin Leslie that time coming round.
And Scotland full of inventiveness at the moment. They're mixing and matching with the lineouts. Look at this, Armstrong, and then goes blind to Martin Leslie. Could have worked well if the pass had gone to hand.
Good take there by Patrick Johns, the 50 caps man today. And a loud blast, collapsing the ball. Stuart Grimes, a 24-year-old, 6'5", 17 stones, and building up the caps, his 12th cap today. And there Humphreys finds a good touch on halfway. With just 10 minutes to go to half-time, Scotland leading 15 points to 7. Lovely take there by Davidson. McGuinness, Humphreys, real tackling there, but that's Ward. Ward going, O'Quinnigan going, O'Quinnigan, and what a tackle that was by Glenn Metcalf, Scotland's fullback. A New Zealander on a South African. That was a drive-saving tackle if ever there was one.
Well, just as I was thinking that Ireland were lacking a bit of inventiveness, and they throw Andy Ward and Dion O'Quinnigan full into the back line and make a fabulous bit of ground. They've got to start breaking this up and break up the pattern at the moment. They need to start consolidating their set pieces, because Scotland really have a stranglehold in this game at the moment.
They're on Scotland's 22. Gordon Bullock's throw. Oh, it's an awkward one. Armstrong beautifully out. The whistle had gone. Ball was knocked forward. And the referee's telling the players to be careful in going up, that you don't go underneath the player. In other words, you mustn't take legs away from a player in mid-air. Peters runs into Costello. Loud blast for holding on. A penalty for Ireland. So there Eric Peters, who captained Scotland in their victory over Italy 30-12 fortnight ago.
Eric Peters just takes this ball off the base scrum. He runs very wide. That makes it an awful lot easier to get a side-on tackle. You'll find as Costello takes him that he just, and again, easy to do. He's very, very tempting just to hold on and not cause a turnover, particularly in your own 22, is what is a very dangerous situation.
Meanwhile, Eric Peters, having been penalised, looks to David Humphreys. Humphreys then. Flags are raised. And the man has done it again. Remember, he's 19 points against Wales. Well, here he goes. 15 points to 10, Scotland lead now. Humphreys with all 10.
I just think so far, Bill, that this Scottish performance has got Jim Telfer written all over it, hasn't it? They're wonderfully inventive, they're very, very committed, and they certainly outthought Ireland at the set pieces so far in the scrum. Ireland are going to have to try and do something to counteract that in the second half.
Townsend, wee bit too far. Taken by Wood. That's Costello on the rampage. You're like a mad water buffalo, isn't he, when he gets going there? McGuinness. Taken nicely by Murray. Very good follow-up tackle by Dempsey. Scotland's 10 metres line. Ireland have got a bit of a lift there from getting close. 15-10 it is.
Yeah, Keith Wood going up, taking his goal. He's got plenty of support around, but that was a wonderful hit. Wonderful hit. Victor Costello recovers the ball, and the penalty coming up from Scotland. Hard to see. Good Gary Owen from Conor McGuinness. It's a good follow-up tackle from Gervin Dempsey, and just for holding on again.
But you see, there was another aspect of Cameron Murray's play, the beautiful take and twisting and holding on long enough to give the support time to get back. Great roars of Scotland all round as Jonathan Bell has a goal from McGuinness. Another lovely ball for Ireland. McGuinness once more. Closey has a goal. Then 12 metres inside Scotland's half. Patrick Johns did well to help there. McGuinness again, maybe a bit too far. Metcalf is back there and he's very quick.
Yes, kicked just a bit too far, but I'm watching Stuart Grimes. He is putting in an unbelievable performance in the loose, particularly in defence. He's making some very, very big hits, and he's adding significantly to the work of the Scottish back row and damping down this Irish attack.
Townsend, O'Shea waits, he's looking for a scissors, and he got it. O'Quinnigan, he's a great rampaging fellow, look at him out in the open, what a marvellous run that was. This flank forward is certainly writing his name over the game. Yes, McGuinness couldn't quite get the ball away to Keith Wood there, and Keith Wood was powering, that could have been a score for Ireland. But what a delight to see a big flank forward, 16.5 stones, showing the pace there of O'Quinnigan.
Oh, Bill, if only a pace like that when I was playing. Yeah, he really is making his mark on this game. Conor O'Shea again looking to counter-attack. A couple of dummy switches, eventually gives a look at this to break the tackle, shrugs off Alan Tate, and that's no mean feat. Big high knee lift showing his sevens style. What pace. He really has made his mark on this game, both in defence and attack. He's been very aggressive in defence as well.
And O'Quinnigan there, who's playing in his 9th international in a row for Ireland. His first was actually against his own countryman, South Africa, in '98. But what a powerhouse he's proving in this match. Listen to the roars of Scotland. This is Leslie once again. The switch inside to Townsend. Townsend is up to halfway. Back inside to Murray. Murray looked to offload, but didn't feel there was anybody there. Armstrong. That's the prober. Well, now it'll be interesting to see who gets the throw in here. In fact, it is Ireland, and it's O'Shea who takes a huge one into midfield. Max had a go. Good effort there by Ward. Costello, but it's going to be a penalty to Ireland. They're going round on the wrong side. Well, we're certainly having a birler of a game here. 15 points to 10, Scotland lead. They've about 3 minutes to go to half-time. Conditions still good, and Humphrey's still good with that foot. It was a super kick by the Ulster captain. Well, there you are. Ireland have conceded 7 penalties to Scotland's 3. Leap there by Davidson. Humphreys. Oh, there's Costello. Costello on the rampage. McGuinness. The fullback was in the line. Bell did well to get it out. This is Dempsey. Dempsey. Half caught by Bullock. McGuinness going. Humphreys still. Scottish defence did well to cover that, but Ireland still in possession. McGuinness once again. This is Wood going. Loud blast, and a penalty for offside right in front of the post. McGuinness has taken it. They're within a metre of a try there. McGuinness digs, feeds out there. Davidson was the one who got so close. It's McGuinness once again. Humphreys brilliantly tackled. This is Keith decent Scottish defence, because Ireland had, what, 4 or 5 bits of lovely ball there.
Ireland could have played that a little bit better, but it was that Scotland closed Ireland down, pushed them back with every subsequent ruck. Keith Woods cutting back against the grain, can't make much progress. There's a great tackle coming up. A double act on Keith Wood as often it takes to bring him down. Alan Tate in there. But still Scotland driving them back. They're not breaking the gain line. And I think Conor McGuinness might regret not having had a cooler head and maybe taking the 3 points.
There's your typical Gary Armstrong, clinging on there like a limpet. And this passage of play also has shown, undoubtedly, that Glenn Metcalf is a cracking tackler as well. Now then, great worries here for Scotland. Dom Smith, the injured player, and they couldn't have a more effective and experienced replacement than David Hilton of Bath. He replaces Dom Smith for his 33rd international, and he can play on either side of the front row. But of course, he will be playing loose head, and there, great cheer for Dom Smith, who has just come back into the game, missed most of last season, but was a hero on the Lions tour of South Africa.
It'll be interesting to see what that does to the whole dynamic of the game so far, Bill, where I felt that Scotland really have dominated the set pieces, certainly in terms of disrupting Ireland's put-ins.
See, right away there, Ireland got a squeeze on, and Gary Armstrong did well to shift it from his own 22. That's a super kick by him. The pick and kick, brilliantly done.
Well, he hasn't put a foot wrong today yet, Bill, has he? He's been outstanding.
Tremendous too as captain, and he just needs 3 more caps to equal the record for the scrum half held by his own clubmate and mentor Roy Laidlaw. 47 it would be. Gary Armstrong's 44th today. Just inside Scotland's territory. Great take there. Patrick Jones was the one who took it on that occasion. Humphreys, again, the Gary Owen, maybe just a wee bit too far. Another super catch. You can, of course, make a mark in mid-air nowadays, and there Metcalf took it so quickly. Great effort there. Alan Tate feeding on, taken on by Leslie Martin. They're almost up to halfway. Armstrong once again, Townsend looking back inside. Nobody there. Armstrong once more. Alan Tate with the kick. O'Shea. Well, I tell you, that was a tremendous kick with his left foot to the left touchline.
Wonderful kick, just as the half ends, but an outstanding half by Scotland, and in particular Gary Armstrong.
And it's been a wonderful half, really. Scotland leading by 15 points to 10. And we've got a teaser of another 40 minutes to come after the break.
So I'm no longer playing for the Scottish national side, but thanks to BT and Scottish Rugby, I'm able to virtually rejoin the Scotland national session during the Guinness Six Nations.
Let's start with some basic attacking play.
Oh, that's weird. It's good that I don't like heights, right?
Expect Hugh Jones to throw in a switch.
Square, Henry. Get across here.
Oh, that is weird.
Don't shut it off, George. Oh, yes!
was very lifelike. It's a little bit unnerving to start with, and actually understanding you can look around and stuff, but it's a very, very unusual experience, but really fascinating to be part of that.
Get ready to go in the whistle.
A rugby club is more than 15 players on the field. It's about a life better spent. A community mucking in together out of love for the local game. From kicking tees to cups of tea. Protecting the future of the game, making the stars of tomorrow. Royal Bank Rugby Force makes rugby life even better. We'll support over 75% of all qualifying clubs this season with tools, funding and expertise. Make sure your club is one of them. To apply, search Royal Bank Rugby Force and get started today.
As we face uncertain times, we are certain of this. We are a country that looks out for each other. Older people, those at risk, the self-isolating. They're our family, our friends, our neighbours, the folk that live upstairs. Shopping, prescriptions, taking out bins. Lending a hand means everyone wins. Even a wee phone for a natter lets people know they matter. Through a million acts of kindness, we'll show that we are Scotland. If you are fit and well, find out how to help safely at readyscotland.org.
Well, certainly seems to me to have been one of the best and most entertaining Five Nations for a very long time. Meanwhile, Scotland leading by 5 points will play off into what breeze there is. Still a strong westerly blowing on the flags, but down there it's fairly still. Gregor Townsend with his 9th try for Scotland today, and Townsend gets the second half started. Great take there by Davidson. Costello comes in and starts the drive and the smuggle. Paul Wallace was helping as well, but came in from the side, and that's a penalty. You have to get back along with or behind the rear feet of them all, and so it's a penalty offence. Humphreys hasn't missed much with his boot today. David Humphreys, who of course got the credit for the try, which was of course a penalty try for obstruction, but he's had a good day, as indeed he's had all season. Great flip back there, and it looked again as if it was Davidson who took it, but a loud blast for holding on to the ball on the ground, and this is a penalty to Scotland. And Andrew Ward there, the Irish flank forward, he was the one penalised on that occasion.
That all came about, Bill, because of the tremendous pressure put on Conor McGuinness by Eric Peters. The pass was hurried. David Humphreys had to make the hurried pass, and before Andy Ward received the ball, he had the defence on him. So all credit to Eric Peters for the pressure there.
Andrew Ward, of course, is the kind of flank forward that brought from a friend of mine about Graham Moorey, the great New Zealand flanker, when he described him as running about like a man with four legs. And Ward has that ability to cover the turf. There he is at the back with the scrum cap on, the star from Ballynahinch. Great jump again by Scott Murray. Townsend took it deeper that time, John Leslie, and that was Kenny Logan who came in. And so all kinds of moves being played by Scotland here today, no doubt about that. Very inventive.
Very inventive, and Scott's heart's just been sent a flutter there as that floated pass. John Leslie taking the ball, going outside Jonathan Bell. Looks to get it inside, but throws it outside to Gregor Townsend, and I think here we nearly see an intercept. That floated pass from Gregor Townsend hits the turf, and could have bounced quite nicely for Conor O'Shea, but it didn't.
Good solid scrimmage there by Ireland. McGuinness. Dempsey was with him, but robbed. Scots may have won that one. Cameron Murray playing scrum half once again. No way through there. Now look at Derek Bevan warning the Irish players to stay onside. Downset's high one. Didn't go nearly far enough. Girvan Dempsey gets it for Ireland. Big lad from Termuir College in Dublin. McGuinness once again. Humphreys. Sliced the kick a bit, but it's still good.
Oh, if we get a chance to see that again, Humphreys' hands are just so quick. He just lures the defence in and he's away in a flash. Here we see the ball coming out. McGuinness will get it to him. Under somewhat pressure, Scottish, a hint of offside there. But look, we're all convinced he's got, look at that, wonderful skill.
Yes, he's having a very good season, David Humphreys, buoyed by the captaincy of Ulster in their great European Cup triumph. It was Martin, Leslie, Armstrong, Townsend. Townsend is through. Now where's the support coming for him? It's taken on there by Alan Tate. Alan Tate back inside. The interception by Girvan Dempsey. And that was a magnificent Scottish breakout. But on the wrong side, penalty to Ireland.
Penalty for Ireland. If we can see this wonderful break by Gregor Townsend, he basically takes on his man. Humphreys takes a dummy, Ward misses him. Now he pops that past him, but who's going to catch him? Who do you think so far? Forward of the match in my book, Diana Quinnigan. What pace.
Humphreys finds Dutch. And Diona Quinnigan looks like one with 4 legs as well.
He's been inspired. I don't know what games, psychological games, Warren Gatlin's been playing through the week. He's been open in his criticism, if you like, of some of his players, but it certainly seems to inspire Diona Quinnigan because he's been outstanding in both attack and defence.
Well, Quinnigan, a product, of course, of the great Stellenbosch University in South Africa. Great jump by Patrick Johns that time. Ireland's forwards matching strong there. Costello has a go. Tackled there by Martin Leslie. That's halfway. Stay on your feet if you can, says Derek Bevan. But Ireland were going forward, and it stood to reason they would get the put in.
Yes, just Victor Costello should just pop out of this with the ball, and maybe a more concerted forward effort on Ireland's behalf. Now Ireland coming out really fired up.
Jonathan Bell goes. Martin Leslie again in on the tackle, and he was in fact interfering on the floor, which isn't allowed. That was Keith Wood having a go, but the Scots have clearly been told all about the devastation that Keith Wood can wreak.
That wasn't really an ideal ball for Keith to take. He was very, very lateral and made it very easy for the Scots to defend him, hit him beyond the gain line, and eventually knocked the ball on.
Well, there you are, Scotland doing slightly better at taking ball over the gain line. So important, and stand-up halves actually lie so flat nowadays, don't they?
Well, particularly, they just lie in that pocket, as you say, Bill, because they're literally in a few steps, if they manage to get past, they're over that gain line.
Halfway. Ireland have won a ball against Scotland's Putin. McGuinness going. Well, Quinnigan was the fellow who took it a bit further. Now it's McGuinness once again. Ireland buzzing on all cylinders here. But a stray Scottish boot clears the danger. Back goes O'Shea. O'Shea's a big fellow as well. Yes, it took a tackle there by Peter Walton to put him down, and Eric Peters in it as well. Offside, penalty to Ireland. They're buzzing, look at them on all cylinders. This is Costello. Costello, lovely pass out to Humphreys. Humphreys feeding on to McGuinness. Brilliant Irish work here. Into the Scottish 22. Derek Bevan looks for the offside. McGuinness, Humphreys, Wood feeds on to Bell. But an interception there almost. And down there goes Peter Walton, and he did well to get across there first. But that was a wonderful passage of play by Ireland.
McGuinness takes the lead. Yes, he eventually found the right side of Bishop, but a great run, one-handed pass from Victor Costello. And again, Humphreys does the sensible thing, slows it up, finds his support, and Gervin Dempsey, intelligent running, cuts back inside to keep the continuity going. All very intelligent play. Humphreys in the movement again. Bell just tries to think a little bit too much too quickly, and the movement breaks down.
So there, Peter Walton got a bump as they clattered into each other, I think, Kenny Logan and Peter Walton. Logan there restored. Actually, if Kenny Logan had been able to latch onto that loose ball, he was clear with a long way to go. It's 15-10 to Scotland. They've played 8 minutes, 9 minutes of the second half. Scotland's 22. Armstrong. Leslie. Oh, beautifully taken there by the fullback Metcalf. And a very good covering tackle there by Gervin Dempsey of Terenure. He's done well in defence, Dempsey.
He certainly has, and a lot has been asked of them today, Bill, but I have to say John Leslie is really starting to make his mark now. He's confident on the ball, he's committing players, and he's forcing Ireland to make some big tackles.
There indeed John Leslie, whose father Andy, of course, captained the All Blacks. Good quick tackle on his opposite number by Gregor Townsend there, but McGuinness wins it once again to Wood. There he is, full steam ahead. All guns blazing, Keith Wood whenever he gets moving. Humphreys once again. That's O'Shea, the fullback, almost up to Scotland's 22. And it's going to be a penalty to Ireland. But you can see the players there feel the pressure, because there have been 2 passages of play there that were so demanding physically. And there Cameron Murray with his second try for Scotland today, and he's done some great work in defence.
Ireland starting to play themselves back into this game now, probably from a more direct approach up front. There haven't been too many set pieces. Out here we'll see that drive. Jonathan Bell's going in with the ball. Ball is won. A few Scottish legs lying over the ball, possibly responsible for the penalty.
Well, now Humphreys, the man who scored 19 points against Wales. Humphreys then, is it straight? But it just pulled a little bit wide. It stays at 15 points to 10 for Scotland. They played 11 minutes of the second half. And Humphreys there, who has set a new record for Ireland in a championship. 53 points he scored in the 4 matches. And that beats Ollie Campbell's record set in 1983. Meanwhile, Townsend. Patrick Johns, he was played before he got near the ball, and that really should have been a penalty to Ireland. However, the referee playing advantage, and that's fair enough. McGuinness to Humphreys. Humphreys sunk in a great tackle there by Peters. That's Wood going, but John Leslie in on that tackle. You can tell that the Scots have been warned about Keith Wood, can't you?
The very words just in my mind, Bill. Yes, they're lining 2 and 3 defenders up against Keith Wood, and in many ways Peter Clossey fed in the ball. Maybe that was where the room was to make that tight run. Conor McGuinness gets the ball from the base. He looks outside. Lovely flip pass back inside to David Humphreys, who again goes to ground and keeps the ball available. And it's from there that the ball is flipped to Keith Peter Clossey.
Gary Armstrong drove forward a bit there, first of all, almost up to Scotland's 10 metres line. Kenny Logan has a go, playing as a forward. Townsend, that was good vision by Townsend. He saw the space in behind Gervin Dempsey, and his kick was perfect.
A wonderful bit of variation in play from Townsend, because previously Armstrong has taken up most of the responsibility to do Scotland's tactical kicking.
Gregor Townsend, one of the 6 players from the Gala club who've captained Scotland. Now then, Keith Wood wanting to make sure he can pick out his target here. Patrick Johns at 2, Davidson at 4. Well, it was Davidson. Lovely catch by the big fellow. Stuart Grimes gets onside. And McGuinness, who was practicing that yesterday, Kenny Logan is underneath it. Good technique there by Logan. Now it's Armstrong to Townsend. Almost an interception, but Cameron Murray is away. Murray inside, trying to link up with his forwards again. May have fallen just the wrong way, but Scotland got away with it. Armstrong feeds John Leslie into Irish territory. Well, the Scots forward just wanting to take it further. That was David Hilton who took it on. Scott Murray was out there amongst the back, getting the ball from Alan Tate. And there's the fullback Metcalf is in on it as well. Forwards and backs all mixed up. When you look along the Scottish line now, there's a standoff, a lock forward, a centre. Armstrong once more. Townsend. That's the switch once again to John Leslie. To Irish territory. Townsend once again. And Townsend probing and finding. Well, those are 2 really good kicks by Gregor Townsend, who hasn't always been famed for that quality.
That's right, you can certainly see he's certainly got the confidence, and I can just see some legs starting to flag. I think the pace of the first half, and certainly the early 10 minutes of this half, is starting to take its toll on these 2 teams.
And Gregor Townsend, of course, now a much more rounded scrum half and able to take control there. Scotland with an advantage in winning rucks. And certainly with an advantage here, even though it's Ireland's throw. Oh, and it was snicked. Armstrong dipping just a little bit low. Townsend would have been away there. That was Alan Tate. Armstrong once again. And that was a typical Armstrong run. You know, he's one of those fellas, all of his career he's been able to run with his body jackknifed like that, often getting underneath tacklers.
That was a wonderful win by Scotland, very opportune, and they really have been putting a tremendous amount of pressure all day on both the scrum and Irish line. It's 2 phases that Ireland would have felt fairly comfortable with coming into this game.
Yeah, Scott Murray was the one who got it, and of course that ball deflected right into the scrum half is really meat and drink to the backs, isn't it?
Absolutely, that quick ball, that quick predictable ball off the top, and Gary Armstrong whipping that away. It gives Gregor Townsend so much more space.
Midway between halfway and the Irish 22. McGuinness once again, a sprightly little fellow. That's the fullback in the line. Almost got through. Loud blast for going over. Penalty to Ireland. And there Conor McGuinness of St Mary's College, his 14th international. Today he's only played about 4.5 matches with David Humphreys, but certainly they've linked well today. Listen to the roar for Scotland, leading by 15 points to 10. And they've played 17 minutes of the second half. Still a nice afternoon here. Great jump and take there again by Davidson. Humphreys, Jonathan Bell. The initial tackle there by Gregor Townsend. But taking it back to the forwards. There's Costello once again. Costello thrown down by Walton. Pick up by Conor McGuinness. He did well to fight for the ball on his side. That's Ward, the New Zealander from Ballynahinch, driving on it. into Scotland's 22. The referee's going to award a penalty. Costello goes, he's playing advantage. Great stuff here by Ireland. Green jerseys all over the place. Decided Ireland hadn't gained a fair enough advantage. The penalty goes to them.
That was a wonderful play by Ward. Ward really been stung into action, burling, turning, stepping out of tackles, pushing off John Leslie, going to ground, making the ball available. Peter Closley taking it on again, and the penalty given away for a bit of holding on.
So David Humphries to chip it to just the 2 points, and he succeeded again, all of Ireland's points. Scotland leading 15-13, about 18 minutes of the second half over, and well, everything to play for now.
And I'd love to know what Warren Gatland said at half-time. He must have taken his forwards into a corner and said, listen lads, it's up to you guys, I want you to start playing this tight, take it on up front, because there's a much more concerted effort from this Irish pack. They're really starting to get Ireland back into this game again.
Townsend lobs it. Quinnigan went for it, and it's been stolen. Leslie once again, Townsend, great chance there for Cameron Murray. Can he get in at the corner? Murray is there. The arms are raised and he's got in behind the post. Cameron Murray's second try of the match, his third for Scotland. What a repuff by the Scots. 20 points to 13 they lead. They played 18 minutes of the second half. And what a moment for this young fella, just 23, his 9th international in a row.
Well, it all came from a turnover. Taylor Quinnigan lost the ball in a turnover. John Leslie made the most of it. Townsend, it was a 3-2. Tate gets the ball now. Murray still got a lot of work to do, but he checked Bell, gave himself that space to go outside, and he took that very well.
A really classy score. And listen, flags are raised again. Kenny Logan pops over his third successful kick, and Scotland are ahead 22 points to 13. It was a super try. First of all, Martin Leslie pinching the ball, and then his brother starting the attack. Watch the timing and directions of the pass here. There was John Leslie's, just each one taking a man on, and Alan Tate did a take and give there. Now watch this little inebriated twitter there by the young fellow Murray before beating his man on the outside and scoring his second try. What a day he's having. Young fella who was Hoyt's 55th international player, their club's 55th cap player. However, Costello picks and goes. But Martin Leslie hung on to him. Close, he worked, helped to work the ball clear. Paul Wallace has a go. But loose. McGuinness, Keith Wood once again. He really is a delight to watch, ball in hand. Great chances here. That was a switch there to Jonathan Bell, right in front of Scotland's post. Referee warning him, but Scotland have stolen it, and there's a man over here as Townsend is away. Gregor Townsend over halfway, chased by Humphries, gives it on to Tate. Tate on to Metcalf, the fullback. This could be another try for Murray, and in fact it's going to be Stuart Grimes. That is one of the great tries. An extraordinary score, that one. You won't see a better try in the championship the rest of the season, and the players there have reacted to it. Stuart Grimes, the big lock forward, 6 feet 5, 17 stone, and he was up in support.
Well, look at this, look how deep inside their own half they start, but it was defence again. Townsend fancies his chances against David Humphries. Second time he's done it today. This time Scotland make it count. Wonderful delayed pass. Look at the support we get from this angle. Look up, and no, I have to say Stuart Grimes is fully deserving of that try.
It was class all the way. Metcalf adjusting the pass there. And young Murray there realising he might be overhauled. Look at the long strider. What a lovely moment for a look forward. Now then, we'll get a grand view of this one. There's the lovely view from our camera at ground level. Kenny Logan just outside the post by a whisker. 27 points to 13, Scotland lead. They're into the last quarter, about 18 minutes of the match left. Stuart Grimes, the big fella, born in Aberdeen, a former pupil of Gordon's College. What a moment for him.
Well, that 5 minutes that Scotland have put in have effectively won them the game, I have to say. How things can turn so quickly. Ireland seem to have established a bulkhead and we're doing well, but Scotland put themselves right back in control again.
Ball seemed to be knocked forward off an Irish hand, but the referee playing advantage. Once again, Townsend spearing it away across field. He really has kicked as well today, Gregor Townsend, as in any of his internationals. This, of course, his 22nd international as a standoff. Gregor Townsend is 17th as centre, one as a fullback against South Africa. Patrick Jones once again at number 2. Jeremy Davidson at 4, but it was looked like meant for O'Quinnigan, but Scotland have stolen it again. Armstrong back inside to Hilton. Townsend. John Leslie beautifully away. Kate. That was Metcalf in the line. Murray once again. Caught there by Dempsey. Girvan Dempsey has defended pretty well today. Leinster's Young Player of the Year in '97. Fairly quick. His 5th test today. Ireland have made a replacement. They've brought on Trevor Brennan. And he'll be getting his 4th cap, but his first against South Africa in the 2 tests in Bloemfontein and Pretoria a year ago. And there's Jonathan Bell coming off, and he's been replaced by the equally bulky Rob Henderson. And so there, Rob Henderson of the Wasps, his 10th international, born in New Malden, used to play for Kingston, and he's a burly chap, and he's another who won't hold back. And so there you would see going down into the scrimmage Trevor Brennan of St Mary's College in Dublin. McGuinness missed out everybody to Henderson. Now that's typically Henderson. You have to nail him to the ground. A magnificent run by the big fella. On fresh. Armstrong in on the tackle. Scotland's 22. Metcalf was in on the tackle and Henderson as well. And that really was a surging run by a guy brought on cold.
It was a wonderful run by Henderson. I have to say, I would have had Henderson on from the very start, judging by Mr. Spray earlier on the season. Hands off Leslie, and the Irish defensive wanted to run at Leslie all day. Henderson actually does it and breaks through, doesn't find the support, and maybe that's the difference today. Scottish passes are going to hand.
Costello controls the scrimmage, then does the pickup. Brennan goes to help, preventing fair release, I think. Penalty to Ireland. Oh, it was going to the floor and handling the ball back in what the referee reckoned was a ruck. And there Conor O'Shea, off his left foot, has put it just fractionally into touch and goal, aiming for short of the touch and goal flag. Nothing much in it. A wee bit unlucky, Conor O'Shea, but it allows Scotland to breathe again.
Well, that's just a lack of concentration, Bill, because at the end of the day, as you said before, you don't want it too close to that corner flag. You want to give yourself about a 5-yard buffer zone to take the defence away from the try line so you can get a bit of momentum going.
Yeah, Scotland could have been offered a scrummage there, but they decided to take the restart kick, and Armstrong has won it to Townsend, and Townsend once again, very good vision, making the fullback come across. O'Shea, of course, knows how to run as well. Some pretty flabby Scottish tackling, but not on that occasion. Ireland on the attack through Wood. Wonderful stuff. Humphreys. Henderson was outside him, taken on by Girvan Dempsey. In fact, it was Max who took it on. Yeah, Peter Closey trying to work it clear, goes in a second time, but Scotland get the put in. But Ireland really have found another gear.
Yeah, they have, Bill, but you have to ask yourself, don't you, if that had been Scotland in possession, would they have been a lot more calmer in possession? Would the passes have found the man in space? Keith Wood takes the ball on. Yeah, like a centre, that's a wonderful piece of skill again from David Humphreys. But the support, he finds Kevin Maggs with that pass. Kevin needs to look for support, but he goes to ground. That's the difference.
Scotland have made a change. Budge Pountney comes on at flank forward for his 5th cap, got his first against the Springboks in November '98, and he takes over from Peter Walton. Budge Pountney, who's a very, very quick flank forward, who plays for Northampton, of course, a lot of coaching from Ian McGeechan. And there Martin Leslie, the injured player, one of the two Leslie brothers who first played together for Scotland against the Springboks. So that's the Scottish goal line. It's there put in. I reckon we've got about 11 minutes of the match left. 27-13 Scotland lead. There'll be quite a bit of injury time to add on as well. And there, Gordon Bullock striking there. No bother at all. And Gary Armstrong, I don't think anybody does that better. The pick-up, the pull back of the ball to give him room for the kick.
Yeah, he does that in one movement, doesn't he, Bill? And that he's obviously, as you would say, he's been doing his homework on the practice pitch. Just watch this again. He takes it so far back, there's no way the back row are going to get a chance to get hands into that. Safe as houses.
McGuinness. Humphreys tackled by Pountney. Till inside Scotland's 22. 11 minutes left, plus injury time. Interfering. Yes, going over, preventing the ball from being released. It's not often you see a New Zealander patting an opponent on the back, as Martin Leslie did there to Peter Closey. Now then, we've got two French touch judges today. Joël Doumé, this is he who's done 10 Cup internationals as a referee, and the other is Didier Menet, and that's a bit of French and Welsh being interpassed there. And Peter Closey told to be careful what he does with his feet going in.
I think that's the case of the touch judges just wanting to get in on the act, eh, Bill? I mean, it was all a bit needless, I have to say. Anyway, he's suitably warned.
Well, the young Munster club were keen to make it clear that Peter Closey has never actually been ordered off in an international match. In any event, we've 10 minutes to go, and there he is, a rugged scrummager if ever there was one. His 27th international from the young Munster club out of Limerick. And a tough hombre. Scotland's 10 metres line. Oh, nicely. Scotland did well to get through. Townsend. John Leslie once again inside centre. Townsend once more. Gives it to the forwards. David Hilton has a go. Almost up to halfway. Hilton of Bath. The butcher they call Mr. McChop. And it's Alan Tate. Inside to the fullback Metcalf. Tackled by Wood. Scotland didn't get quite far enough in front of the ball there, and as a result, it looked as if they were going to lose it, but Green knocked on. Conor McGuinness there, this Tough little cookie. Got his first cap against New Zealand in '97 when Ireland lost 63-15, but he scored a try against Canada in his next match, and he's been there more or less ever since. Well, there you are. Each side has had plenty of time in the opponent's half. It's 27-13 for Scotland. Gary Armstrong, tremendous pass by John Leslie. The feet on there taken by his brother Martin. If that pass had gone to Alan Tate's hands, well, it could have been another try. Ireland have done well to snaffle that ball. Humphreys, here's the little shimmy. Trevor Brennan was the fella who knocked on. You can understand it, he's only just come on as a replacement, and it's not easy as a cold replacement to adjust to the pace of things.
Notice the Scots movement again. Wonderful flat take at pace by Leslie, and again, if that ball had gone to hand, but the other Leslie picks it up, and Kevin Baggs wins the ball.
Yes, the Irish have covered Scotland's pick-up pretty well throughout this match. Just outside Ireland's 22, Armstrong. Caught by Closey. Closey did well there, 2 tackles by Closey. That's the 22. Leslie, oh, beautifully away, and it could be a try for Logan, or was it forward? The last pass was forward. Ken Logan thought that he might be about to score his first try in a Five Nations match. He's got 8.
Well, that's wonderful quick hands by Scotland, wasn't it? Must have been just marginally forward.
I tell you what, the skill levels in that passing movement were absolutely first class. Taking a ball one-handed, taking and giving in the instant. Went round too far, they'll have to do it again. But it would be a delight to see again that Scottish handling movement, because the ball's taken off the floor and taken with one hand. Brilliant stuff. McGuinness, Henderson. There he goes again, like a buffalo on stampede. Tremendous effort. Gervin Dempsey. Murray hasn't covered, so has John Leslie. Max was in there as first man to help. McGuinness waits for delivery, he's got it again. Humphreys once more. Henderson of the Wasps. McGuinness. Humphreys. O'Quinnigan. Scotland's 22. Ireland not done yet, even though they're 14 points adrift. McGuinness to Wood. Wood, the human battering ram, and can he release it? Fed out from Patrick Johns. Great Scottish tackle there by Gary Armstrong, and it was Hilton who was going to break away, but diving in, penalty to Ireland. David Hilton was the forward who felt himself out in the Sahara Desert somewhere. And they've taken the shot on, full credit to Ireland. Laid back there by Brennan. Paul Wallace couldn't quite hold it. Burnell. Burnell out to the number 8 forward, Peters. Peters is away over halfway. Marvellous run so late in the game. When you run out of puff, that's Cameron Murray going again, working a scrum half. Hoof on by Keith Wood. Armstrong, a chance now, there's an overlap out here. This is Logan. Logan cutting inside. Got there by Humphreys. Irish 10 metres line. And it's a penalty to Scotland out in midfield. And it's within distance. But what a passage of play that was too. This has been a cracking international.
But again, a turnover, and Paul Burnell breaking out of defence, Derek Peters. But again, who would you put your money on then? I know who I'd put my money on, that's O'Quinnigan. Although I think he's tired a little bit in this second half, that must have taken out of him. Peters does well to hang on, lay the ball back. And it's taken on again by Murray.
And there Kieran Scally comes on, the Irish scrum half, on for Conor McGuinness. Scally for his third international, 2 caps, and a lad who has scored tries against Georgia and Romania. That's of course in the World Cup qualifying tournaments. Meanwhile, Kenny Logan seeks to hoist the 30 points for Scotland for the second international running. They did it against Italy. Logan, yes, it's through. Logan's 4th successful kick of the match. 30 points to 13, Scotland lead. They've only about 3 or 4 minutes of the match left, plus injury time. And Cameron Murray has gone off. Injured Sean Longstaff has come on to replace him, out of Dundee High School, but of course a big New Zealand lad as well. Sean Longstaff, who's played for Wellington in New Zealand. Well, the fella's coming on all over the place, but here's a fella who will be dying to get on, Steve Brotherson, because it would be his first cap. And you can imagine how impatient he is, and here he comes. Steve Brotherson comes on to replace Gordon Bullock, and it's Stephen Brotherson's first cap. He had, of course, non-cap appearance against Portugal in the World Cup qualifying. Melrose's championship hooker 5 times in the 90s, and a lovely moment for him. Steve Brotherson's dad, Jim, was the British professional 1 and 2 miles champion at one time. All kinds of numbers there. Pountney number 19 is there. The crowd are beginning to sing, and beautifully back to Gary Armstrong. Armstrong, lovely pass there from Townsend. Leslie going. There's an overlap here. Estate has a go. On there to the fore. Kenny Logan. Very good covering by Maggs. Great thrust on there by Sean Longstaff. He's got into the action right away. They're deep inside Ireland's 22. A chance here again as Townsend goes. Townsend half through, looking to offload. Nobody came close enough. And Ireland will get the put in.
Oh, Bill, even as an Irishman, I'm almost disappointed that didn't result in a try, because that was wonderful play by Townsend. That one-handed pass back inside, and the quick pass from Townsend as well was superb. Great movement.
And so there, the man of the match in this Lloyd's TSB 5 Nations International is Gregor Townsend. And who would argue with that? And there, Jim Telfer, as always, totally focused on the game. John Rutherford, the backs coach, with him. Gary Armstrong is coming off hurt as well. And it'll be a lovely moment for Ian Fairley of Kelso too. Gets his second cap, his first against Italy. The 16th Kelso player to be capped by Scotland. And it certainly is all happening here at Murrayfield. Ian Fairley here, who burns the grass as well. He's very quick. And Fairley has gone round to the other side. You notice he anticipated that break there. Brennan had a go. Offside. Taken very quickly there by Justin Bishop, was the one who started it off. There's Wood going, having been fed by Scally. That's O'Quinnigan. Very well turned by Fairley. Scotland won a good ball there. And there's the attack once more. Alan Tate feeds inside. Interception by Humphreys. Ireland's 22. Come on, Derek Bevan, who keeps a lovely atmosphere there. Look, Peter Closey having a little chat about the weather. with him and how the weather's held up. It's really a lovely evening here now. Sun's actually shining. And there, this formidable Irish front row of Closey, Wood and Wallace. What a trio. Now then, Ireland's 22. Fairley has gone wide. Peters out. Man and ball there, but Cameron Murray takes it. And the fullback was there as well. Good bit of work by Dempsey there to turn his man round. We're into injury time at the end. Can Scotland produce another try before the finish? Alan Tate has a go. Brotherston goes further, almost up to the Irish 22. 5 metres to go to that. It's Fairley once again. Pass, little bit loose. Johns goes down. Yes, interfering on the ground. Referee's whistle goes to the end of the match. And we've had a spectacular game with smiles on Scottish faces, as you can see. And no wonder, because they've scored 4 tries to 1 and they've won by 30 points to 13. And there's no doubt in a sense, Philip, that Gregor Townsend had a big part to play.